This is Dan Wickwire, and in this session we'll look at question number 192 in my book, 200 Questions About the Bible and the Qur'an. The question is this: when going out to war, was it Saul, or Talut, who tested his soldiers by how they drank water? No, according to the Bible, but yes, according to the Qur'an. So the word Talut is the Arabic name for Saul. If we look at the Bible in Judges chapter 7, verses 2 to 6, we see the story about Gideon and going out to war with the Midianites. And the Lord said to Gideon, "The people who are with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel claim glory for itself against me, saying, 'My own hand has saved me.' Therefore, now, proclaim in the hearing of the people, saying, whoever is fearful and afraid, let him turn and depart at once from Mount Gilead." And 22,000 of the people returned, and 10,000 remained. But the Lord said to Gideon, "The people are still too many. Bring them down to the water, and I will test them for you there." So he brought the people down to the water, and the Lord said to Gideon, "Everyone who laps from the water with his tongue, as a dog laps, you shall set apart by himself. Likewise, everyone who gets down on his knees to drink." And the number of those who lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, was 300 men. But all the rest of the people got down on their knees to drink water. So, if we look at 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 47, "Then all of this assembly shall know that the Lord does not save with sword and spear, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands." The whole chapter of 1 Samuel chapter 17 is talking about when Goliath defied Israel. Saul was the king of Israel at that time, and David appears in this story. The story of David and Goliath is there in 1 Samuel chapter 17. Now, if we look at the Qur'an, what we see is that in Baqarah 247 to 252, it says this: "Their prophet said to them, 'Allah has appointed Saul as king over you.'" Verse 249, "When Saul set forth with the armies, he said, 'Allah will test you at the stream. If anyone drinks of its water, he does not go with my army. Only those who taste not of it will go with me. A mere sip of the hand is excused, but they all drank of it except a few.'" 252, "These are the signs of Allah. We rehearse them to thee in truth. Verily thou art one of the messengers." So what you need to notice here is that in the Bible, it was not Saul, but Gideon who tested his soldiers by how they drank water. Saul lived during the time of David from around 110 to 971 BC. But Gideon lived 100 years before them, from around 1162 to 1122 BC. So what you have here is Muhammad, because he was an Ummi, that means he was illiterate. He lived in the Saudi Arabian Peninsula during the time period of what they call the Jahiliyyah. That means the period or the age of ignorance. Muhammad did not know what was in the scripture, according to Shura 42:52. So he did not understand the timeline or the chronology of biblical events. So he ends up making mistakes. He confuses and misplaces people and events in the Quran. So because he was an illiterate, he did not know how to read or write. And this is why he makes mistakes like this. Now, in Baqarah 279, it says this. Actually, I'll read 278 and 279. Because the Qur'an actually criticizes those who are illiterate. Look at this. Muhammad was illiterate, and yet the Qur'an tries to criticize those who are illiterate. There are illiterate men among them who are ignorant of the scripture, talking about the Torah, as in the Qur'an it has Torah in parentheses, and depend on nothing but conjecture and guesswork. Verse 79. Woe to those who write the scripture with their own hand and declare this is from Allah. Well, in 252 of Baqarah, it says, these are the signs of Allah. We rehearse them to thee in truth. Verily, thou art one of the messengers. Well, what's true about messing up Saul and Gideon and David? The timeline is all messed up. What's true about that? He says, and then it says, who is more terrible than one who says they're inspired when they're inspired in nothing? So it's Muhammad had his whole entire timeline messed up, and he says this is from Allah. You can't even get the facts and the figures, the dates straight. So the question is this: when going out to war, was it Saul or Talut who tested his soldiers by how they drank water? No, in the Bible, but yes, in the Qur'an.